If you could write a letter to your younger self, what would you say? Not just about advice or big decisions, but about how you wish you'd lived, or moments you now see in an entirely new light. As the years accumulate, that question takes on surprising weight. So today, let's talk about no regrets, what it really means to live a life without being haunted by the past, and how, in this chapter of life, true peace and contentment can be found outside the shadow of what if. Regret is often painted as a villain, the thing that keeps us up at night, replaying words left unsaid or chances not taken. After 6 or 7 decades of living, there's hardly a soul who hasn't known its sting. But here's a small bit of encouragement. Regret is not the final word. It doesn't have to steal the color from your present or your future. There's a quieter wisdom that grows with the years, teaching us how to transform the heavy stones of regret into stepping stones toward meaning and serenity. Let's explore a handful of ideas for living with fewer regrets, not by wishing the past away, but by tending to our present and future in a deliberate, gentle way. As we walk through these, I invite you to think about your own stories and what they've taught you. Our Ageless Soul community is all about learning together, so your insights matter deeply. Our first insight: regret reveals what truly mattered to us all along. When something stirs feelings of regret, whether it's a fractured relationship, a missed adventure, or something as quiet as an unread book, it's a signal, not a sentence. It points toward the values and joys that have given shape to our days. Imagine 2 people at a high school reunion. One looks back and only sees the roads not taken. They never learned to play the piano or didn't travel overseas when the chance came. The other remembers those same moments, but takes from them an understanding of what made them happiest: music, adventure, connection. The difference isn't in the past, it's in the way its meaning is brought forward. For us, the lesson is to listen, let each regret illuminate what matters most today. If you frequently find yourself longing for a certain lost activity or connection, it's almost as if your inner compass is pointing you back toward what's worth pursuing, even now. To act on this, consider jotting down one past regret and asking, what does this say about what I still care deeply about? Then, in whatever way your life allows, reconnect with that value, be it through music, conversation, or even a letter never sent. That small step honors your authentic self and softens regret's grip. Our second insight: forgiveness is often the gentlest antidote. Sometimes our deepest regrets grow from moments when we wish we'd acted differently, been more patient, spoken up, or perhaps not spoken at all. Mistakes are simply proof that we were living, learning, struggling, and growing. Forgiving ourselves is not a letting go of responsibility, but an acceptance that, given all we knew and had at the time, we did our best. If you're thinking, that's easier said than done, you're not alone. Forgiveness comes slowly, lived one day at a time. Think of friendships you've repaired after years apart, or the way some old family hurt finally softened in a gentle conversation over coffee. It's rarely about a grand gesture, simply saying the words out loud. I did the best I could with what I knew has more power than we sometimes realize. Why not try it? Next time a regret rears up, offer yourself the kindness you would give a dear friend. Now and then, take a moment to reflect. Are there memories you revisit with a clenched heart, wishing things had gone differently? What would you say to the person you were back then, if they stood before you now? Our community here at Ageless Soul has a treasure trove of shared wisdom. Your stories may light the way for someone else. Let's take a brief pause here. If you get value from what we have presented, please like and subscribe to help us grow our channel, Ageless Soul. Your support builds a network of encouragement and shared learning. Our third insight is that regret loses its power in the presence of connection. Looking back, it's rarely our possessions, titles, or achievements that weigh heaviest. It's the relationships, the if-onlys around reaching out, a phone call never made, a visit postponed. No matter the age, we find no substitute for belonging. The reality of later years, sometimes more quiet, sometimes more solitude, can tempt us to shrink our worlds. But now is when your companionship and compassion are just as needed as ever. Take a moment and think, is there a friend or family member on your mind right now? Someone you wish you'd called, or with whom time slipped by too quickly? No need to craft the perfect message. Sometimes a simple, "You've been on my mind," means everything. Pick up the phone or put pen to paper today. Life opens up when we let others in, and a small act of reconnection can stitch up years of silence. Fourth, let's look at the wisdom of purposeful living. One of the most striking reflections I've heard from older adults is this: the regrets that fade fastest are those replaced by a sense of purpose, however small or ordinary. Whether it's tending a garden, volunteering, or simply showing up for someone, meaning builds day by day in the choices we make moving forward. A woman I know, Mary, once lamented not finishing college when she was young. For years that regret felt like a hole. But in her 70s she started tutoring children at the local library, translating her love of learning into a new form. Instead of being trapped by her history, she shaped her present with fresh purpose. The action step here is to ask, what do you still want to offer? Your well of experience and kindness is deeper than you may think. An hour spent mentoring, sharing stories, or even smiling at a neighbor can transform both your days and someone else's. Purpose is not a grand title. It grows in simple acts as you reflect. What purpose calls out to you lately? Is there a skill or lesson you could pass along, or a cause that once stirred you? Join the conversation in the comments. Your stories quietly inspire others. Number 5, embrace the evolving self. The person you are now is not who you were 10, 20, or 50 years ago. That's a gift, not a loss. We sometimes regret that we didn't speak up when younger, or we see now that some worry or inhibition kept us from adventure. Remember, life gives us different tools in each season. Who's to say that you can't now share your wisdom, try new experiences, or even make a new friend as the you are today? Perhaps you spent much of your life putting others first, children, family, career. Now with more open time, you get to recalibrate. Even if large physical challenges are a part of life now, there's still room for new joys. Maybe it's painting for the first time, or finally reading that classic novel you shelved years ago. The key action here is to try something, however modest, that you once set aside. Sign up for an art class, try out a gentle exercise group, start a letter-writing habit. The important part is motion, not mastery. Pause a moment and consider. If you could give yourself permission to be brilliantly new at something, what might it be? Share your thoughts and dreams below. You'll find yourself in good company. 6. Regret often fades with acceptance. No life, no matter how carefully lived, is without missed chances or storms. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It's an act of grace. It's about recognizing that the story you lived was uniquely yours. The joys as real as the heartbreaks, the detours as meaningful as the destinations. Think about your favorite old movies or songs. Often the richness is in the turns the story takes, not just the ending. To put acceptance into practice, you might revisit an old regret with the aim of telling its story as if you were recounting it to a friend. What did that experience teach you? What strengths did it call out of you? Sometimes viewing our regrets in light of the whole journey helps us find unexpected gratitude. While reflecting, ask yourself, is there an old wound you can reinterpret as a lesson, or perhaps a way it brought you closer to someone or to humility. Accepting your story, messy, beautiful, and real, is a lifelong act of courage. Here's a seventh insight, perhaps the most liberating of all: live forward, not in reverse. The temptation to replay the greatest hits of our regrets is strong, but the real energy lies in shaping this day and the next. You have today's choices: what to savor, whom to love, how to spend this golden chapter. Time and again, the wisest people speak not of repairing the past, but of living with intention now. Let this be your practice. Each morning, as you wake, name one thing you're looking forward to. It might be sipping your tea by a sunny window, trading old memories with a friend, or even watching a favorite show. By tipping your attention to what still is and not just what was, you expand joy, reduce bitterness, and step more lightly into each day. Now, before we draw this to a close, I'd love for you to take a moment. Think about one regret that used to weigh heavily on you, and notice if time, forgiveness, connection, or acceptance has softened its edges. If it has, would you share that experience here? There's power in knowing none of us walk this path alone. Before we say goodbye, if this conversation about no regrets has given you some peace or a new perspective, please like and subscribe to help us grow our channel, Ageless Soul. Your kindness helps us reach more friends on this journey. In these years, your wisdom is a gift, not just to yourself, but to everyone doubting the worth of their own patchwork story. The small regrets, the giant ones, and every lesson in between are woven into a life that holds meaning beyond simple explanations. By honoring what matters to you, forgiving yourself, tending to your relationships, rediscovering purpose, embracing the self you are now, accepting the story that brought you here, and living forward, you transform regret into richness. Each day holds chances for peace, laughter, and connection. So let's keep this conversation open. Share your thoughts, your stories, your hard-won insights down below. The Ageless Soul community is built on the idea that our lives are not measured by regrets, but by how we keep learning and loving, right up to today. Thanks for watching. Tap that like button and subscribe if this brought you joy today. We're growing thanks to wonderful folks like you. Wishing you a peaceful day, wrapped in warmth and love.